GMFB right now. He is one of 3 quarterbacks in the room. Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback, and right now it's tracking for Shedeur Sanders to be number 3, which doesn't mean a lot going into opening day. It's exactly where people suspected he might be. He actually moved up a notch with the trade of Kenny Pickett to the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a long season. Cleveland, at some point in time, we think might get a chance to see what it has in the 2 young rookie quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. But I think when they open the season against the Bengals, the chances are Dillon Gabriel is going to be the number 2. Shedeur will be the number 3. They've opened up the room by trading Kenny Pickett. And the truth of the matter is, for all the talk about the quarterbacks on the current roster, it might be more about the quarterbacks who could be on the roster next year, because this team, let's not forget, has double first-round draft picks. Its own and the Jaguars, not to mention 10 total picks in the 2026 draft after dealing Kenny Pickett to the Raiders for another 5th-round pick.
I will say this. This is great news for Shedeur Sanders, because Cleveland had given the impression, hey, we don't mind having 4 quarterbacks on the roster, when everybody was saying, what are you doing? It's really supposed to be 3. And so you trade Kenny Pickett, and now you've got the 3 that you have. So immediately, in the immediate aftermath of that putrid performance this past weekend, Shedeur Sanders basically, they basically said, hey, you're on this roster. We believe in you. We're going to continue to develop you. We have faith in you, et cetera, et cetera. So that shows you're not giving up on this kid by 1 second. That's a good thing for him. I think this is good.
Yeah, and let's take it a step further, guys. Like, I give him an A- against the Panthers, maybe a C- against the Rams. But that's rookie quarterback development. It's never in a straight line. And if I'm the Browns, by the end of the season, they're probably going to be out of it. I want to know exactly what I have in Dillon Gabriel, who by NFL standards is woefully short. He's in the 97th percentile in terms of height. So to me, like, that's going to be hard for him to have sustainability. I want to know what I have in Shedeur Sanders by the end of the year, because, again, to your point, they're going to have 2 first-round picks. So I think what I would say to Shedeur is every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, that's your game day. You may not be number 2 right now, but go beat out Dillon Gabriel in practice. Go beat him out in the meetings, and let's see where we are by the end of the season.
You think he can beat him out? Because he's ahead of him right now, obviously.
Yeah, Molly, I'm a big height-weight speed guy when it comes to the quarterback position. In the history of the NFL, you look at Drew Brees as one of the rare exceptions as 6 foot or under in terms of having sustainability. So to me, Shedeur is built right, and I think he has the ability to get there.
And it's a long season. At some point in time, the chances are he's going to get his opportunity to show. So it's up to him now to just do everything he can to soak it all in, learn what the game's about, absorb it, and be ready when he is called upon, whether that's November or December.
And in fairness to Shedeur, I mean, other than his poor performance this past weekend, he really hasn't done anything. I mean, he hasn't gotten in any trouble. I mean, he hasn't been saying the wrong things. He hasn't been a less than a model citizen focused on, being the best that he can be. He hasn't done anything. So I think that when we look at it, he's going in there, he's working hard, he's trying to improve every day. He's saying all the right things, trying to elevate his level of play. And remember, up until this past weekend, we did think there was a legitimate argument that he should have been higher on the depth chart than Dillon Gabriel, because he performed better against Carolina than Dillon Gabriel had performed in the preseason game against the Eagles. It's just that obviously he nosedived over this last week, and so the tenor of the conversation changed.
We got to go. Flacco will be the 20th different quarterback to start week 1 for the Browns.
Yesterday, Kenny Pickett was traded to the Raiders, so that quarterback room in Cleveland now has one less face. What are you hearing about their plans at quarterback and why they were willing to trade away Pickett?
Well, they got offered, obviously, a pick for Kenny Pickett. That was a valuable pick, and Cleveland now has 2 ones, and they have extra picks later in the draft, so they are going to be armed and ready for the 2026 draft. Look, Kenny Pickett was a value. They have Dillon Gabriel, who they like. They have Shedeur Sanders, who they like. They don't have an experienced backup to Joe Flacco right now, but I think this team is willing to ride through that, especially with the way that Dillon Gabriel looked this summer.
So that's the point. While they haven't named it yet, the real question is who's going to be the backup, because that player is 1 hit away from being on the field on opening day. It's going to be Gabriel.
Yeah, who played very well this preseason in fairness, Greeny, but as Hembo just reminded me, he's in 3rd percentile in height. It's really hard to have sustained success in the NFL. Drew Brees is the obvious outlier when you are so short. So to me, it's a big risk. You go from 4 quarterbacks, which we've talked about all summer long, to literally for a 40-year-old quarterback to be backed up by a very unproven, very short by NFL standards 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, so we will see Dillon Gabriel, and maybe at some point we will see Shedeur Sanders. That quarterback room remains an interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've always said, like, This season should have an eye towards what you're going to be in 2026
Right.
at the quarterback position. You're going to keep both of the rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe both of them get the chance to play. Mike T, yours is the next burning question. Joe Mixon will miss the first 4 weeks of the season with a foot injury, as was forecast by Shedeur yesterday. Tell us again, the wide open AFC South. Which team do you like?
The Tennessee Titans. Look, the Texans will have 4, maybe 5 new stars on the offense. Joe Mixon's out. And when you think about Cam Ward, this is the quietest first overall pick we've ever seen. And he, to me, is going to have a spectacular season. Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, really solid offensive line. They have Tony Pollard. I think this is a team that could compete and win the division this year, Greeny.
Don't be shocked if Tennessee is a lot better than most of the forecasts. Speaking of forecasting, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook, the Pittsburgh Steelers win total for this season is just 8.5. This for a team that's coming off back-to-back 10-win seasons. They've, of course, also lost 6 straight playoff games. As you probably would have guessed, Aaron Rodgers says he doesn't care about what Vegas thinks at all.
I don't worry about what anybody's saying, what Vegas has a win total at, or any of that nonsense. Every team every year has periods of adversity that they have to overcome and battle and kind of go through it, like the bison running toward the storm. You gotta kind of run to it and embrace it. And if we can do that, then we're gonna have a chance to be in the mix.
So again, that's why I said, as only Rodgers can. Like only he could say all of that when asked about Vegas's preseason win total projection. That said, it's 8.5, D-Wood. We go over or we go under?
I'm taking the over on it. Listen, we're talking about Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, they sleep their way into, 9-10 wins.
Yeah.
And that's without, Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Listen, I get he's 41. And that's a big question mark. Can he play the whole slate of games? But this is the best quarterback situation the Pittsburgh Steelers have had since Big Ben has been there. I think that the biggest question, honestly, the offensive line. The offensive line, they play well and they play to their strength and protect Aaron Rodgers. Come on, I'm taking the over.
Greeny, the NFL was created on September 17th, 1920, roughly 105 years ago. In 105 years, there's been 2 quarterbacks, 42 or older, start a playoff game. I'm going to take 105 years and take the under.
So you're going under on Rodgers, at least as far as the playoffs are concerned. Shefty, what are you hearing out of Pittsburgh, the early returns?
Listen, I think they are excited. They felt like this was a position they had to solidify. This is a team I think that still has some questions going into the season. I know we talked about Trey Hendrickson and Terry McLaurin. A topic we haven't talked about that's not settled yet is Cam Hayward, the defensive tackle who has talked about retiring if he doesn't get a raise. And they have been unwilling to figure out that situation. So I know we have all these situations that have percolated across the league that have begun to be solved. But Mike is out there, and the topic that hasn't gotten a lot of attention so far is Cam Hayward, who hasn't participated in team drills in practice with the Steelers getting ready to open their season against your Jets, the 3 of you guys.
That's correct. All 3 of us. They're playing against the 3 of us and the rest of the Jets a week from Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern. And by the way, just so you get a chance to hear it, I've said it a million times, no one says words better than Mike Tomlin does. He had these to say yesterday about his confidence heading into the season.
You can trick yourself into being confident. You can hide underneath your desk. I don't worry necessarily about how I feel, the emotional component of it, because it's just that. It's about putting these guys in position to work individually and collectively and being urgent about that work and understanding that everybody's got the same number of days and the answers to those questions, those bills are going to come due in a short period of time.
Again, I have no idea what he just said, but I loved it.